So I'm living down the road from the Telegraph on Ayala Street near the Rockledge station. Going to Artie with Jim Migdal and Ron Greenstein, and then we had a place called Mariston, which Ben Leet basically took care of the process of that. I was right down there in the middle of Berkeley, and it was when the spring of 83 rather. Yeah, spring of 83 or 82 actually. It's 82, and this letter came from Irwin about needing volunteers to help him on the film project that he was doing. And I found out later on, years later, that Baba had come to Irwin in a dream, and the fact that he said that because Irwin had basically screamed at Baba for not being able to continue doing the film. And Baba came to him in a dream and told him that he would send 2 monks. And to reiterate what I said earlier, I was a monk during the 50s, and knowing Marvin Johnson as well as I ended up doing it, because we worked on that for 3 solid years. He was probably a monk in the previous lifetime. So anyway, I ended up discarding that letter that he had sent, because I had no experience in any of that, and I was also working with Liam Mullen on the movie script that he was involved in, so I felt that that was enough. So what happened next? Oh, so come that fall, I found I got a call from Wendell Bressman, who was living in Berkeley at that time, and he had just sold. Wendell Bressman was from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and his parents passed away, and he was left with this big warehouse, a furniture warehouse. And he sold that whole thing and moved to Berkeley. And he ended up helping finance the film project for the next 3 years until it was done. So he called me up and we met at the...
He financed the Avatar movie? Wendell did?
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, can you turn your video on? Do you mind?
Oh, he's standing up. I'll give him my...
Never mind. Okay, I don't want to.
We'll do it.
And also, I wanted to ask, all this footage was from Dr. Black's book. How did the trust let you? Was it just a cop? How did they let you have it?
When you're sitting down, turn on the video.
Hold on a minute.
I don't want to make it.
Yeah, okay. But that question on the trust wasn't involved at all.
But it was, wouldn't they have a copyright on that film? It was Upasni and Baba.
No.
Wow.
Well, the trust was, I can't get this video that's open. Hold on a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't really know the background of that, but it's obvious to me that he had complete control over what he was doing. So
Wow.
And I'm sure that right now all those original tapes are in his freezer or refrigerator.
This is original footage.
Yeah.
From Dr.
Anyway, So,
Heck, don't worry about the video. Don't worry about it. Just, yeah.
so anyway, it turned out that after Wendell and I met for a lunch one day, he reported back to Irwin that I was acceptable as a volunteer. And so it turns out that when I sent him a letter saying that I would like to help do that, because I really wanted to move to Myrtle Beach at that time anyway, to be on the center. And I was real tired. I had hurt myself at the boot store, so I was on workman's compensation, and they paid me $7,000 to settle that. So I had a few bucks in my pocket to go to Myrtle Beach. So anyway, it turns out that he was sending me a letter, and the letters crossed in the mail.
What changed your mind that you decided you did have time to do from?
Well, working in the boot store, I mean, after, my business life is, making a ton of money and having all that prestige and all that crap. The ability to be free of, Baba was just kind of washing off all the stuff from my karma, I guess, or sanskaras or whatever. No, my moving to Myrtle Beach, that was something that was kind of automatic with me. I had a relationship with a lady from Los Angeles and San Francisco, and that ended. And so I was pretty much on my own, and my moving to Myrtle Beach was a gift. So when I got there, all this is happening, okay? And when I got there, and my first and the day that I arrived in Myrtle Beach was I guess it was the fall of 84. Yeah, fall of 84. And there was a letter waiting for me from Mara.
Wow.
How she found out about it all, I don't. It's kind of beyond me. And she was welcoming me to the center, and happy to know that I had received Baba's darshan. So we did the.
Did she
Yeah,
know
so
about the film? Was she happy that you were working on the film?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And so Marvin and I and Irwin and there were some participants who came by. Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
And I think there were two people during that 3 years who came and went that were adjunct to Marvin and I, but we spent about close to 3,000 hours working on the film. And my main job was editing the film, because the film itself, if we ran it right through, it would take about 8 to 10 minutes. That would be the end of it. So Irwin stretched it out to an hour and 15 minutes by duplicating and slowing down. And every month he would send a copy of what I did, editing it. Marvin helped me make sure that we were doing it correctly. And so that was an agreement between the two of us that we would pick this particular frame because of the lighting, and it would match the next frame. So I spent most of my 8 to 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, literally just looking at Baba's photo as each frame passed through.
And you had some fast forward and go backwards. And
yeah, we were able
slow
to go.
down.
Yeah, we were able to maneuver everything, go forward, backwards, and whatever.
But Jack, I'm a little unclear. Usually I think of editing as being cutting out, and obviously you were not doing that. So like, were
No.
you making decisions of how slow it would be and when to repeat?
No,
and-
mainly the time that I spent on the edit, I call it the editing board, because I would take a particular scene and go frame by frame on the scene and pick the frame that best was expressed itself as far as a visual, person looking at it on the screen, and then Erwin would collect what Marvin and I took care of and send it to New York to a laboratory, and then they would send back what we decided were the frames that were to be used in that particular scene. And there were many, I don't know how many scenes there were. I never really, maybe 50 or 60 of them. And then Erwin bought from Switzerland or Sweden, I forget which, this huge keyboard thing. I don't know what it was called, but it had all sorts of ways to. Marvin and I were able to project on a screen what the particular frame that we were working on, and through keyboard manipulation of this huge thing. I don't know what it was called. It was one of the early digital technology things. We went through the whole film working on that, and my memory escapes me on all this stuff. And after 3 years, it was produced, and you had the whole thing.
It took you 3 years to.
It took me 3 years from, and I'm sure he had worked on it before for another year or 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know.
So I watched it last night at the Centers, and it's interesting because someone was commenting on how magnificent it was, showing all those frames of Baba and slowing things down. It was just absolutely magnificent. But they did say it did say 7 years, and I mean in the introduction, Erwin said it was 7 years in the making.
So he worked on it 4 years, and then I came in for the last 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Dr. Deshmukh alive at that time?
No. Oh, well, he picked it up when he was in India in 1972 or 3 or 4, whenever he was there.
No, when the film was complete.
Oh, was that? I don't think so. At the completion of his 80s.
Involved? How was Deshmukh involved?
He actually took
The original.
the original film in 8 millimeters.
So he was,
Deshmukh? Oh,
Yeah, and what Erwin did was have the shifted it from 8 millimeters to 35, which is a 35 millimeter film that you're seeing on the screen. So they were able to do that. But they
Is
did
this
that
the
in
same
laboratories in
film
New
where
York City.
is this the same film where Baba contacts that must, the naked must?
Yeah. Mhm.
Bunch of them.
Okay.
that was Upasni, was it not? Is that right or
No.
no? Oh, you're
No,
right.
that
You're right.
was not, no, I think Nupasni may have already passed away.
That's right.
This was
Maybe
supposed to
not
be sitting
either, maybe
naked in the
not.
field. Remember, he was sitting naked in the field.
Yes,
And
yes.
Bob comes and
Yes.
bows
There
before him.
There were 2 or 3 of them
Yeah.
shown.
That's right.
There was a lady musk, a female musk. She was sitting down in
Yeah.
the middle of a patch.
I think that was the must, the big naked man.
Yeah.
Was the one I think that Baba had to go, and the must said, well, I want to go with you to your next place, where Baba would give darshan. And Baba said, well, fine, well and good, but you'll have to bring yourself, buy your own ticket and come on the train. And I don't remember what happened. I don't remember how the conversation went after that.
So do you think,
Well, okay.
oh, Dr. Jeshima, was Baba asked him to film, do you think, to film all that was going on? Yeah,
Really?
interesting.
I really don't know much of the background of, the backstory. You have to ask Irwin all of that. But it always kind of, in a strange way, rankled me that they keep calling it Irwin's film,
Oh,
actually Dr. Deshmuk's film.
10 years ago.
And yeah,
But was all the film done by filming done by Deshmukh, or weren't there
yes, yeah.
multiple people involved?
No,
in that?
as far as I know, it was Deshmukh's, and the latter half of the latter third of it was of Deshmukh's family. The human
Yeah.
side of the human side of God. So there was actually two parts to it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Irwin did what the effort and work that went into
Oh
it.
yeah. I'm not disparaging
It
anything.
probably would have never happened as it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he gets a lot of credit for doing what he did. It's wonderful. There'll probably be it's a standalone film.
Mhm.
It's something that one could consider like the Wayfarers. The Wayfarers has in the Library of Congress its own special place. It's a one of a kind, and this film, I would say, is in the same category.
Yeah. I see.
Well, speaking of Irwin, I've run into his son Merwan twice in Chapel Hill, one at the Chapel Hill Baba group, and then just another time. So it was fun to see him. He's doing tech stuff, living in Chapel Hill. Nice young man.
Thanks for
Were
that.
you the other night? Merwan came to Baba Zoom. He came several nights,
Oh,
but
good.
only one night he introduced himself, and he and Jeff had conversation. And I was in the grocery store during the whole I was sitting in the car and then in the grocery store to get tea. They had a great conversation about many things. A lot. I don't remember what all they talked about was discussed. He talked to other people. Were you there, Gail?
I wasn't. I'm disappointed.
I
because
thought of you, but I didn't mention. Yeah, he said he's living in Chapel Hill. You had told about that. I think his wife is in medical school, perhaps.
or residency, one or the other.
I'm gonna stop recording now, just letting you know. I wanted to catch that story, we're just yakking here.